Hey guys, S-Code Knight here.
Skybats.
Doing the What
Made
If
up archetypes.
Skybats video. For all of you unaware, I already did a Skybats video a while back, and I decided to take it down simply because, I didn't really like the way it turned out.
Makes sense.
Not one of my best videos, if I'm being honest. I mean, the music was blaring out like a Sonic Adventure game, and one of my least favorite parts about the video was definitely the fact that I accidentally left out some of the card text, but
Oops.
that's beside the point. I'm going to be redoing the video right here, right now. So
this is our HD remix.
Skybats were an archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Skybats
and they were
Master Rule
used by
5.
Ace, a character which I'm sure a lot of you probably forgot. The deck is an Xyz archetype that focuses on
I can't remember. This is going to be your last turn. 8 turns in a row.
Skybats of the Dinotopia book series.
Ooh, I've heard about that
series. I would recommend reading. Also, while the main deck monsters are named after Jurassic and Triassic pterosaur species, the Cretaceous era species make up the majority of the Xyz monsters. And by majority, I only mean 2. So,
I think there was only 2 at the time.
I'm S-Code Knight, and here's my new video on the Skybat archetype.
Also, apologies for some of my text spelling still sucks. Yeah, we're used to it. Skybat Terror, level 3 wind monster. Dinosaur effect, 1200 attack, 200 defense. If this card is added from your deck to your hand, except during the draw phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. A Dinosaur Xyz monster that uses this card's Xyz material gains the following effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, it gains 1000 attack. A very blunt and straightforward effect with a sort of heroic challenger extra sword or sort of effect, except it only works on Dinosaur Xyz monsters, whereas extra sword's like basically any. Plus, if it's just add from deck to hand, it's straight up good, so you can search this thing out with Fossil Dig and then like immediately summon it. There are better things to search with Fossil Dig, but hey, it's a thing you could do with it. Skybat Swords, level 3 wind. Dinosaur effect. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon one Skybat monster from your GY. Once per turn, you can banish one other Skybat monster from your GY. Add this card from your graveyard to your hand. It's very handy. I know they're effectively once per turn, but just assume they're all once per turns. Or not. Actually, let's not assume that. But, okay, let me be more specific. I like how it's effective, like, getting itself back from the graveyard isn't like and then banish this card if you do. Most of the cards are, but I guess since you're only getting back from from graveyard to hand, that's how you balance it out. I shouldn't need to explain why this is just a good card. On summon, get back monster, and it can bring itself back. Yeah. Skybat Dinomorphia. There's a wind level 3, or I think it was Skybat Dinomorpho. Yeah. Dinosaur effect, 1000 attack, 600 defense. If your opponent directs an attack you control, and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card and one other Skybat monster from your graveyard. Okay, I think it means if your opponent declares a direct attack. That's what I meant to say. Both monsters can't be destroyed this turn. Also banish them when they leave the field. So this thing has a banishing effect. Okay, so your opponent declares a direct attack and you control no monsters. Special summon this card and another Skybat from your grave. You gotta make sure another Skybat's in your grave, but if we're late game, that's a pretty safe bet. Sadly, both will be banished when they leave the field, but since this is an Xyz archetype, going into the overlay network is not counted as leaving the field, so you can attach them and they'll go right back to the graveyard. Like nothing happened. Also, the benefit of, can't be destroyed that turn. Just very handy. Skybat Ramfor, level 3 wind. Dinosaur effect, 900 attack, 1000 defense. Just assume they're all level 3 with wind and dinosaurs. If this monster is summoned, add one Skybat monster from the deck to your hand. Now once per turn, just very straightforward and a searcher. Very good. Skybat Arrow. If this card is targeted for attack, you can tribute this card, and if you do, negate the attack and draw one card. So there's a bit of a cyber value, and with 200 attack and 2000 defense, that's pretty handy. Yeah, you guys know, Cyber Valley was pretty good for a while. so was this. Xyz monsters. Skybat Tyranno, rank 3 wind. Takes two level 3 dinosaur monsters with 1,000 attack and 2,000 defense. Remember, one of the cards can increase this thing's attack by 1,000, so this thing could get up to 2,000 attack. Or 3,000 if you use two of the same monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card. This monster can attack your opponent directly this turn. Your opponent cannot target this card for an attack if you control another dinosaur monster. Okay, so if this thing gets a 3,000 attack, you can take out 3,000 big ones immediately. Of course, you could also do like 1,000 or 2,000, but hey, you can do up to 3,000 big ones, I assume. Plus, your opponent can target it for an attack if you control another dinosaur. Too bad this guy replaces also conductor if I round, then he'd be unstoppable. God, imagine that universe. Skybat Onifo, a rank 5 wind monster. It's Onifo. But it takes 2 level 4 monsters. Maybe it was a 4, or maybe that was a typo. It discards Xyz Summon, you can gain... It discards Xyz Summon, it gains 200 attack for each material it has. You can detach one material from this card, and if you do, discard or can attack your opponent directly this turn. This is the only monster you control that is allowed to attack this turn. It has 3,000 attack and 2,000 defense. Interesting how it takes 3 level 4s and there's no level 4s in this archetype, but then again, there's probably some spells and traps that could help with that or something like that. So when I see something, it gets 200 attack for each material, so it's going to have 2,600 max, and by detaching one, which will bring it down to 2,400, it can attack directly this turn. So, but though it's the only monster that's allowed to attack, so yeah, handy. Very nice. And since there's one that can boost by 1,000, you know what I'm going to say, so this thing could get up to potentially 5,600 attack points. Assuming you can. It's probably going to jump through a lot of hoops to do that. Also, it's 3 level 5 monsters, not 4. I apologize, I am stupid. Okay, so it's 3 level 5s. So somehow get them to plus 2, because I don't think this archetype has any level 5s yet. Spell and Traps. Rank up Magic Dino Thunder. Quick play spell. Target one Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck one monster with the same type as that monster you control, but 2 ranks higher. So this is how you get into the rank 5 I was talking about. By using it as material. This is treating Xyz summon transports materials to the summoned monster. Also, dinosaur type monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects this turn. Very handy. It's a good rank up magic card that can go up to 2 ranks higher, which is always handy. And you can make a card or not be able to be targeted or destroyed by card effects this turn. Nice. Skybat Nest, a normal spell. All Skybat monsters you control gain 300 attack points. If you control no Skybat monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Spell. Once per turn, you can Xyz summon a Skybat monster using Skybat monsters you control as a material during the battle phase. What? Okay, so all Skybats you control gain 300 attack. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a field spell and this was a typo. And if you control no monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. It's a spell. Maybe that was a typo. I don't know how you do that. Once per turn, you can see summon a Skybat monster using Skybat monsters you control as Xyz material in the battle phase. So this thing is like an urgent tuning Wonder Xyz thingamafledger, you know? Do the thing during the battle phase. Which is handy. Just don't get that middle effect. It's weird. Skybat Bingo Fish. I love it. Quick play spell. Draw one card, and if it's a Skybat monster, special summon that card. Also gains 500 attack. You can only use one Skybat at Bingo Fish per turn. Yeah, very handy. It's a free. Even if you don't get a Skybat monster, you're just straight up plussing 1. So, but if you do, that's an extra 500 attack points and a bite at your opponent, considering it's a quick place you can use it during the battle phase. Very handy. Skybat Snatch. Normal spell. All Skybat monsters you control can attack your opponent directly this turn. However, battle damage to your opponent takes this turn is halved. During the end phase, if 2 or more Skybat monsters attack your opponent directly this turn, you can draw 2 cards. That's a straight up plus. So all of your monsters can attack directly, though they're going to do half damage. And if at least 2 of them go direct, manage to deal the direct attacks, you get to draw 2. Do I even need to explain why this is a good card? Too bad, I just did. Skybat Breakaway, a counter trap. Oh, this is a long one. If your opponent activates a spell or trap while you control a Skybat monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Target one Skybat monster you control. Xyz summon from your extra deck one Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher than that monster you control. Oh, by using it as an Xyz material. Xyz materials attached to it also become Xyz materials for the summon monster. There's no Chaos Xyz in this archetype, unless we assume the rank 5 was supposed to be a Chaos Xyz. So there's a counter trap that just negates everything, which is just, you know, par for the course for counter traps that are in archetype. And you can manage a card from the graveyard, and this will act as a rank up magic. So you basically have 2 rank up magic, which means 6 because you want to put in 3. Probably, yeah.
Thanks for
that's it.
watching another one of these videos. So, what do you think of the archetype? Don't worry, I will plan to do more of these videos in the future. I just want to get Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Unleashed done.
Don't worry, dude.
So
You're on
said,
3 now. Past 3, actually. Skybats are an interesting archetype. They're not really that great, and they don't blow me away, but I like them more than Lyralisks for what it's worth. Not that that's saying much. They're better than Warrocks. Okay, not saying anything, really. They're neat. They don't really... I wouldn't play them in real life, but they're kind of cool, you know? Of course, we got more Skyback support throughout time. You know, this is freaking back in 2015. Oh god, 2015 was almost 10 years ago. We were closer to 2015 being 10 years ago than we are it being... Well, no, actually, we're closer to it being 5 years ago than we are 10 years ago, so I can't do math. Never mind. Just weird to think about. I'm old. Anyway, yeah. Cool archetype. Not much else. Bye.